In this video, we'll cover the differences between a factory GM starter and an aftermarket high-torque mini starter. Connections for both are simple, but there are a few wires in a factory harness that can be tricky if you're connecting to an aftermarket part. Once you're familiar with each wire in the stock engine harness, the mini starter connections will make more sense. We'll look at a factory-style starter first. An original GM starter has 3 connections. The large post is a direct battery feed. This connection is important because it allows the starter to receive maximum amperage directly from the battery for cold starts. This is the largest wire that connects to the starter, so it's pretty tough to mix up. The next connection on a factory starter is the S terminal. The S terminal is what receives the signal from your ignition switch. It's responsible for pulling the starter bendix out to mate with the flywheel while the key is in the crank position. Typically, the wire attached to this terminal in a GM application is purple. Last is the R terminal. This one is the source of confusion for a lot of people because it's not always used. The R terminal is what allows the ignition to receive voltage when you turn the key to the crank position. Typically, the wire attached to this terminal in a GM application is yellow or pink. As I mentioned before, it's important for the starting and ignition system to receive enough voltage while the engine is cranking. A factory point setup only needs about 9.5 volts to run, so a steady 12-volt feed will cause them to fail prematurely. Since 9.5 volts isn't enough to start a car, we need 12 volts during crank to help get things running. This is where the bypass comes in on the R terminal. The starter R terminal activates when cranking to provide a momentary 12 volts to the ignition coil. In most 67 and older GM applications, the stock ignition switch will not provide voltage on the ignition circuit while in the start position, making this connection to the R terminal essential. The exception would be ignition switches equipped with an ignition 2 circuit, such as those found in a Tri-5 Chevy. Most high-torque mini starters do not have an R terminal. If you're still running points with a mini starter, you will need to add a diode on the bypass wire. The bypass wire will be doubled with the S terminal wire. This wire will also be necessary in a car running HEI if it has a 67 or older style ignition switch. This diode acts as a one-way check valve so current can flow from the starter to the coil, but not feed ignition voltage back to the starter while the engine is running. We offer a diode wire that will work for both points and HEI applications. The part number is 500997 and can be purchased through our website or through one of your local American Autowire dealers. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching.